Welcome back to Tuesday, or rather Wednesday's edition of The Price of Business. You know, whenever you get these holidays going, you kind of get your whole week messed up. But, I'm glad to be back. Long weekend's great, but really glad to be back in the studios, especially when I have my friend Frank Granett on the program. Love to talk to him about what's happening out there in the mental health front in particular. Regular contributor, regular feature here on the Price of Business. And Frank, before you introduce your guest today, and by the way, I love this topic, looking forward to this conversation, tell us a little bit about your organization and about the work you and I are doing with the Price of ADHD business, which we got a lot of content now at the national news website, USDailyReview.com, that site getting about 1 million hits a month, getting that word out there. But tell us more about what we're doing and tell us about your organization.
Yeah, Kevin, it's a great program today, and our organization is the Coalition Against Over-Medicating Our Youth. And what this means is we're not against medication, but we're for finding out that underlying causation for neurobehavioral disorders. And this includes ADHD, it includes anxiety, depression, and it's afflicting, tens of millions of Americans across our country as well as internationally. But we're going after finding these assessments that are actually working to help people reverse these types of neurobehavioral disorders. And, Kevin, our work that we've been doing the last couple months here is just phenomenal. We get a lot of feedback where, wow, I didn't know that assessment could be done to help my child or help my husband, help my wife, whatever. But when we go through and get a hold of these assessments, we're making tremendous progress in getting the correct information out there. And today's guest is no different. I mean, he's a special, informative type of person. It's Dr. Michael Husmillo. And today's topic, we're going after treating neurobehavioral disorders through chiropractic neurology. And Kevin, we discussed this in a few weeks ago. We had talking about chiropractic intervention, but this is a specialized form. And Dr. Husmillo completed his postdoctoral degree in neurology, and he holds a fellowship from the American College of Functional Neurology. And what this is basically has done is given him the ability to create innovative, unique treating options for children as well as adults in the field of clinical neurology. Right now, he is only one of 4 specialists in the state of Michigan that holds these specific specialized chiropractic neurology centers. Dr. Husmillo, welcome to our program.
Thank you for both having me here. I feel fantastic, and I can't wait to talk about this.
Yeah, Dr. Husmillo, tell us where, first of all, you're in Troy, Michigan, I see. Before we get rolling, do you have a website that I can put that we can mention there at priceofbusiness.com where people can get more information?
Yes, Kevin. It's www.ocncenter.com.
Very good. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, Dr. Husmillo, we talked in the past, and I'd like our listeners to understand that clinical, chiropractic neurology was one of the more specific and very technical types of interventions that actually, for those of you that follow the National Hockey League, Sidney Crosby, when all else failed, they went to chiropractic neurology, and now it's one of the main reasons he is still on the ice playing national hockey. Explain to us what, chiropractic neurology is and how it differentiates from the traditional medical type of neurologist.
Well, Frank, chiropractic neurology, actually, the chiropractic profession, they're specialists, like in radiology, orthopedics, and physical rehabilitation. But in neurology, chiropractic neurologist actually has to complete an additional 3-year coursework in neurology. Also in that coursework is residency-based clinical training. And in the process, we have to pass a certified examination administered by the American Chiropractic Neurology Board. And also, Kevin, there are actually only about 400 board-certified chiropractic neurologists in the world. So we're a pretty specialized field.
Okay, say that again. How many are there, did you say, in the country?
No, in the world there, Kevin. 400 board-certified chiropractic neurologists in the world. So it's pretty specialized.
So how old is this credential?
Excuse me?
How old or how long has it been that people have been able to achieve this credential?
Well, it's It's been about, I'd say, since the early 1990s.
Wow, that is fascinating. Go ahead, Frank.
You know, Dr. Husmillo, as far as intervention, and when you have this patient, whether it be a child or an adult, what are you looking at as far as what approach, you know, when you look at from your standpoint, how to treat ADHD condition or any of the other, neurobehavioral type of disorders that you deal with on a daily basis? What's that 1, 2, 3 assessment that you can relate to our listeners that's critical before we go into drug therapy?
Well, it's really important, Frank, to understand is as chiropractic neurologists, we look at brain-based therapies. We focus on the brain's role in joints, muscle, biomechanical, and neurological dysfunction. So we know that as human beings, our bodies, we have sensory receptors in our bodies, and these are throughout a whole entire nervous system. So this connects the nerves to the spine, to the brain. An example of these sensory receptors are like pain receptors, touch receptors, vibration, smell. Very, very important because this gives input to the brain nervous system. So our approach as chiropractic neurologists is to look at how these changes actually ultimately affect brain function. Because when you start to change these sensory receptors and this input to the brain nervous system, the things we start to see in particularly kids with ADHD, we see changes in brain function. Because as you know, that the left brain has certain characteristics, the right brain has certain characteristics. And because of these characteristics, we can all see changes in kids with ADHD. For example, we know the right brain deals with focusing a little bit more and deals with seeing the big picture. Well, we know that for us, these are characteristics of the right brain, but for us, we see what's going on, why is input to the brain nervous system being affected. And as a result of that, we do a pretty thorough examination to figure out which part of the brain or which way you want to basically create these brain-based therapies to help the child get better.
Yeah. Dr. Michael Husmillo, he's been our guest. He's with, his clinic. Actually, just the best way to learn more about the clinic is at www.oencenter.com. So I'm talking about chiropractic neurology, which I think is fascinating. And, of course, our regular contributor here on The Price of Business, Frank Granett, and he's with CAOOY.org. We're working together, building really a better understanding, I think, through our media of how people should look at mental health and really take a different approach and a different look at it. And I thanks to both of you gentlemen for contributing to that.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Husmillo, for being on today. And if you need more information, we're going to have this interview on our website, which is CAOY.org, as well as Dr. Husmillo's, which is OCNcenter.com. And thanks again, Dr. Husmillo.
And, of course, USDailyReview.com. All right. Thanks to both of you, gentlemen. And we'll be back with more right after this. Do want to remind you, best content, here we go, easy for me to say, best content here can be found over there at USDailyReview.com while they're like it on Facebook, follow on Twitter. And this is The Price of Business.